Welcome to the Craftsman Cafe. I'm here with Ken Neumann from Cigars More, and I'm really excited about this interview because I really like Ken, and I've been meaning to do this interview for quite some time. So thanks so much for taking the time,
Sure, my pleasure.
Ken. So tell us a little bit about the beginning of your business. What's the genesis of it?
Well, my wife and I were in the golf business, and we started selling. We were manufacturing golf clubs. We started selling cigars at our golf show, and that kind of took off. And I met up with a person who imports cigars, so we imported and distributed cigars to golf courses throughout the country. And then that kind of migrated. We met a local rep from this area who wanted to open a cigar shop, and we did that. And we stayed in our wholesale business. His deal was to work here as a at the cigar store. It lasted about 6 months, and then Julie and I came here, and we had to run a cigar shop and our wholesale business. So ever
Wait.
since then, that was 1998. So that was 16 and a half years ago, or 17 and a half years ago.
Was this the original location?
Yeah,
Okay.
we bought this building. We put Julie laid all the tile in here.
Wow.
I built the humidor. This room was an afterthought when we first opened. This was a second lounge. In 2002 we opened, or 2004. And but when we originally opened, we just had one lounge and about 100 different cigars. Now we have, I don't know, 800, 900 different cigars and two lounges and two stores. So
Wow. So when did you open up the Long Grove store?
Long Grove will be 6 years this coming fall. We opened that, and that was another location that we have to find a perfect location for us, because you have to be freestanding to smoke.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can't be connected to other buildings. So we had to find a good location and one close enough to home, so I don't have to spend my life in a car. You know, we've got a family and everything,
Right,
so
right.
it worked out really well. And ever since then, it's just been going crazy with all that stuff. So it's all good.
So when you came to this store, when when that guy decided to leave and you took over this store, did you stop the golf business?
Yeah, the golf business had tailed off from there. We were still in a little bit of it, but it was all cigars at that time. And then even that side of it, the wholesale cigar business tailed off in the first couple years that Julie and I were running this store.
Okay.
So, I mean, because it was a big undertaking to manage a store, and it was just Julie and I, and we had one part-time employee. So it was a large amount of time to build the business. I mean, if I had $1,000 for everyone who said you're going to fail, you know, I'd have a decent amount of money, and that's, you know, because everyone always wanted to open a cigar shop, but they didn't know how to, and we ended up working out really well with the town and being involved, and just the people in this area just support local business so much that
Yeah.
you know, we never could have survived without that. I mean, we have a product that's readily available on the internet, saving probably 40% in taxes, but I've got customers that grace our doors every single day and spend with us because they want to support local, and they want to know, you know, the husband and wife that own the business and that kind of stuff. And
Right. Well, you also have something unique here because the experience is great. It's a really comfortable lounge. You have a variety of product, obviously, highly quality controlled. I've bought cigars from a lot of places. Get out into the car, fire it up, and it's dry or stiff as a board.
Yeah.
But your customer service, I mean, tell me a little bit about, I mean, what's your philosophy? Because you have guys, I think your first employee is still here, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I believe in business. With the pillars should be honesty, integrity, and reputation. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Customers see us in here every day. My office is right next door. So it's if you don't have that with your customer service, and they'll go anywhere. I don't want to ever hear a customer, I don't care if a customer's happy, you know, satisfied. I want to hear that customer's loyal, because a loyal customer will go nowhere but your store.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that with our guys' help that have worked with us, we have 9, 10 employees now. They have that mantra too, that we will do anything for the customer to make them happy, and also be there and recommend on an honest basis, because they want that customer. We have a significant amount of repeat business. We don't have the tourist business. You know, these people, we see these customers every single day, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you start giving them the wrong impression, they're not going to come back. And that's the thing to me, is that you have to be honest and be forthcoming to these customers, and they will come back. And they've obviously shown that in 17 years that they're willing to support us when, like I said, I know darn well they can get it cheaper, but you have that loyal customer, they're not looking for price, they're looking for the experience of coming in here. Like you said, it has to be an experience. I mean, this is like their living room.
Yeah, right.
And
well, that's what I like about it. Yeah.
And they treat it like that too, where whether it be a customer that comes in for the first time, they greet them, or they recommend cigars, or they see some shenanigans happening. So they make sure that doesn't happen, because they care that much about us and about our business, that they want to keep us open and make sure that everything is right.
Yeah. Well, running a business is tough, and I love talking to entrepreneurs. You know, you mentioned that we're in a town that's highly supportive of local business, and I've found that to be true for sure. One of the things, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we were talking about how Libertyville is really thriving. And I don't know if you want to answer this question. I'm going to throw at you, Ken, but I think it's a question worth pursuing. We were talking about how do we as a town stay great, you know, because you look at surrounding towns, you know, there's a lot of towns out there that are struggling from an economic standpoint, from a business standpoint. They're trying to revitalize their downtown. I mean, if you could pick one or two things to keep Libertyville great, what might those things be, or a challenge to throw down? Any thoughts along those lines? Or?
Well, I mean, as I am in my industry, I want to see as many cigar shops open in our state as possible. I mean, I would rather not they open in Libertyville, but businesses that are when you go into downtown Libertyville, you can see the businesses that are powerful and going strong. The local ones that are a husband and wife or a local business as opposed to a chain style. I think that's what really makes it unique. I mean, you can go anywhere and get a certain kind of product or a certain kind of food, but the local businesses like Milwaukee Trace or Finn's, you know, these places are all owned by a local person. Like, their kids go to school here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
right.
I think that's what makes it, whether it be even a car dealer. I mean, my neighbor's a car dealer, you know, from Lincoln. So it's an amazing thing but I want to shop there and the same thing that happens in our store, that I think people want to shop local and also see the owners. You know, they want to see those people that does, and I think that's what makes it good. So the more businesses we can get like that, I think the better off we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us unique compared to other local towns. I mean, you can't do all chains because there's no soul there. You know, there's not.
That's true.
I mean, it's just a door, and you open the door, buy your food, and leave. You know, that's not what we want in this town. We want people to buy their food and hopefully move here. You know, and that's the end result.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said. I think last time I was in, you were in D.C., or at one point you were in D.C. Tell us a little bit about the involvement that you and Julie have in the industry.
Well, I'm a executive board member of our international organization, and it started out as just tobacconists, but now we've kind of gone into the political realm. So we have an office in D.C. now, and we're there lobbying, just explaining to congressmen and senators about our family industry and trying to keep regulation off of our backs.
Yeah.
And so I'm spending a fair amount of time there, and then between that and then Julie's also an executive board member of a smaller, more unique organization, the TAA, that's more exclusive, and they're more of a trade show organization and an exclusive organization, not as political. But Julie also makes trips to DC with me, and we walk the halls together just to explain in person what a family business is all about.
Right, that's great. Well, that's good work. How's the progress? Is it always an uphill battle?
Yeah, I mean, we're if not the most regulated and highly taxed industry in the nation, and we just have to make sure that people know that that's not what we are. We're a very small, unique niche industry that needs to be just kind of left alone. And the progress is going. Right now we're fighting an FDA battle, but there's always battles to. We're kind of a low-hanging fruit with tobacco. It always seems to be if someone needs a budget fix, they're going to go after tobacco, and they don't realize they're affecting. Like in Illinois, there's only about 70 stores that do what we do.
Okay.
That are true tobacconists, and you're really not going to get a windfall by taxing us or doing things in that nature, and we just have to keep reminding them about that. So.
Right. How's the? How long have you been in Long Grove, and how's that store coming along? And do you have any plans that you are thinking about as it relates to opening more stores?
Yeah, for me, Long Grove's going great. It went a lot faster than I thought it would in the first 5 years. I forgot how long ago it was with this store to take a foothold and get going, but we've got great loyal customers there and a great town that really appreciates us being there. I look at it as another mantra that I have is that I don't want to be the biggest, I want to be the best. So we're always looking for another store to open, but we're not in any hurry. We're looking right now, but it's a matter of what happens with our regulations that are coming down and how that's gonna affect us. But yeah, it's more of for me, I could open another 12 stores, but it's all about having the labor force to do it. I mean, our guys are the ones that make this store popular and our Long Grove store. So if we can get a couple more employees under our belt that we feel comfortable with, then we probably would go down that direction.
Yeah. What you guys are involved with a lot of stuff locally, and that's from a brand perspective, if I can use that word. It's something that I really admire about your business and how you guys roll. Not only the customer experience, and this is like my living room. I come here to do work at times. I come here to visit at times. It's a really comfortable spot. But one of the other big things is you're really plugged into the community. So kind of give me the rundown on what you're involved with, what you do, why you do it.
Well, locally, I'm the president of the board of the Lake County Haven, a local women's shelter. I got involved with that through my Rotary. So we do a fundraiser for that here at our store, and I'm involved with that. And then our store in Long Grove, we got involved with a police chief from Killdeer, and we do a Special Olympics car show out there.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I believe that, people say, give back and you get what you give. And I'm a big believer of that you be a part of the community and people will follow and flock to you if you can be a good conduit for a good cause. It's amazing to me. Some of the events we have, people just walk up to me and don't want to get involved in the raffles per se. They just want to give, and they'll just hand me a check and walk away. That shows you that they have
That's cool, yeah.
faith in the product that I'm involved with, and if I'm involved with it, they have trust that the organization is good. So
Right.
I think that's important. And if you're not involved, you're not a part of the community, and people see that, I think. And some people sit back and they wonder why their business isn't doing well. You have to get involved. You can kill yourself with that too, but if you're not a part of the community, people don't they don't reciprocate to you too. So it's definitely an interesting and a fun experience for me to be involved in with both organizations. And Julie's just as involved. She's more of the person who handles the Special Olympics out in Long Grove.
Okay.
And I'm on the board with the Haven, so it works out really nice.
That's great. Well, you also are the premier sponsor, correct, for the Wine and Cigar Fest?
Yeah, and that was originally started to save the Brainerd building, but then it changed to a Rotary function, and that was my Rotary when I first came into town.
Okay.
And I believe in everything that the Rotary has to do. In fact, they actually give money to the Lake County Haven. But that's not really why. The Rotary is just an amazing organization, and I know most people who are in it. So for me to be involved in that, just to be invited to do it, and we've got a town with people having wine and beer and smoking cigars. We set up a lounge there, and it's a good cause. Another example of how Libertyville is different than other towns, where they're progressive enough to understand that, hey, this is a nice adult atmosphere for people who enjoy some wine, beer, and cigars.
Yeah.
And they raise a good amount of money that helps many local charities.
Yeah.
And it's a great night to spend just out, everyone having a nice time. So it really works out well for us.
Well, the Rotary, I'm not a Rotarian. You have to pick and choose, right? I'm involved with different things, but I just absolutely love that organization. They do so much good all around the world, and it's pretty cool, literally internationally, and it's pretty cool that it was started here in Evanston.
Yeah.
The history and heritage behind it is great. The festival, we're spoiled because we've got a lot of great fests, Street Fest and all that other Main Street stuff that goes on. They do just an absolutely terrific job, but that event is really unique. My wife and I went with our neighbors last year, and it was a total hoot.
And that's what makes it nice too. Neighborhoods get together, and they might see each other all week long, but they get together and meet out there and just have a nice time. And just by osmosis, they're given to a good charity too. And it's just it's well run, and it's just for the right cause, and that's just nice. I mean, there's a lot of money that's raised through that event.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your favorite smoke? Or does it depend on what kind of mood you're in?
It depends. Diamond Crown, which is Lounge is named after, and Davidoff are two of my favorite cigars, and Padron. But, that's just like my customers. They come here and enjoy a cigar with a friend. When I sit down and have a cigar, it kind of takes me to enjoy it with my friend who sold it to me, whether it be the Neumanns who own Diamond Crown, and when I have a cigar with them, they're a family business that have been in business for 100 and some years, and it kind of takes you to a point where you're enjoying that with them, even though they're not here, and that's what makes our business so great. We're not buying from huge corporate companies. We're buying from family businesses where the owner of the company will call me at 8 o'clock at night, and the first conversation they'll say is, "How are your kids? How's Julie?" Not about, "Hey, we need to get these numbers up." That might come down in the conversation, "How can we help you?" But that's way down in the conversation.
Right.
It's about family, just like we are a family here, they're a family there, and they care deeply about whether or not. So when it comes to a cigar, I'm just like everyone else. You get stuck in a rut, or you're just used to smoking what you smoke. But I smoke a lot of different cigars, but mostly Davidoff and Diamond Crown is what I like to smoke.
Okay. Yeah, that I never thought about that aspect of the cigar manufacturers are really small businesses throughout the world. Do you do a lot of traveling to these places? What's been a favorite trip of yours?
We'll go to Dominican Republic, where most of our cigars are made, and even there we've done a Fuente charity trip that we went down there to build water tubs, 5-gallon water tubs, to supply fresh water to the local area. And they have a school and a soccer field and a hospital that they help their local people, the workers that work for them. And so that was probably, if I had to pick my favorite trip, that was it, because you'd think we were amazing people for putting some plastic together and helping someone with water, as they had to walk a mile to get fresh water now they can just have it in their house. So and we do an event for that too once a year, where you get a special box of cigars, and that's probably my favorite. But I've been to Nicaragua, Honduras, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and that's something that amazes me, is to see and there's some big factories, because it takes many years to make a cigar, but the people who work there are just wonderful people. Some of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life, always smiling, always friendly, and just they're just happy to see you smoking the cigar that they just made. It's just that's what makes the whole circle that comes around to our business, and then that's our job to come back here and explain to our customers why we buy the cigars we buy. It's not a widget, it's not a screw or a bolt, it's a handmade product. It's touched 300 times before it comes to our store by hand. It's the one pure handmade product left in the world, and that's what makes it an experience and fun. And that's why I'm still in this business 17, 18 years later.
Well, that's a great way to wrap up, and it's very fitting, because what you're talking about is craftsmanship.
Yep, exactly.
And that's really, really cool. So thanks so much for
thank you.
doing this. And it's great to sit down and great to see you as always. So thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
That's a wrap, George. Smoke on, brother.